is if we are calling multiple different services, that is external services, then how we can call multiple other API or services simultaneously from your service. Let me make you understand this question in another way. Suppose three external API calls are independent of each other, but in your use case you want to combine those results coming from the each service. Okay, then what is the best way to invoke those API calls, that is external API calls? If you are an experienced web developer, I hope you are able to sense the answer, right? We need to make a parallel calls and then we need to combine the results. To achieve this in Java, we have actually two ways. We can use the CompletableFuture class provided by Java, and the second way is we can use reactive programming libraries like Project Reactor or RxJava. So let's go through the first example, that is CompletableFuture provided by Java. Here, along with the CompletableFuture, we required a WebFlux which is used to retrieve mono from the body. Here body refers to the response body, that is we are getting from the API call. And from this mono class we can convert our response to the future. I will give you that example in few seconds. Before that, here actually the WebFlux also belongs to the reactive programming, but here for our use case we are combining that with the CompletableFuture provided by the Java. So after adding this dependency to our Spring application, let's write the code in the service class to call the external APIs. So here in the service class, I am just initializing the web client. In the constructor, web client is initialized with the external URL. Then I have declared three methods, that is call API1, call API2 and call API3. They are calling the same service but three different APIs from that. Okay. In all the methods, you can observe one thing. After making a call, it is retrieving the response and it's converting to the mono, right? Body to mono. Then we are converting that mono to the future. Then I have written one more method, call all the APIs, right? So here I'm just making the calls to the call API1, API2 and API3 and storing the result in the respective CompletableFuture objects. Okay. So from these three API calls, we don't know which API responded first and which API is responded last. Okay, they are parallel and non-blocking calls to each other. So to collect and combine all these responses whenever they received, we need one more CompletableFuture. That is what we have declared here in the highlighted box. This allFeatures.get method will wait for all features to be complete. Then it will combine the results and we can extract the each result. At the return, you can see finally we got the required strings from the external APIs and we're combining the result there. We can also shorten this call all APIs method using mono.zip to call all the external services at once. As I told earlier, this mono is from the reactive programming again. Hence the mono.zip is again from the project reactor. Using mono.zip, we are calling the external APIs and we are combining them using the mono.zip. Then we are mapping them to the tuples. Then we are extracting the result from get tuple t1, get tuple t2 and tuple t3. Okay. So in summary, CompletableFuture allows you to perform asynchronous calls and wait for all to complete using CompletableFuture.allof. Whereas using Project Reactor, it utilizes reactive programming with mono and flux to handle asynchronous operations in a more declarative manner. We have seen how useful and handy they are. They are making three different calls in a single line, right? So both these methods helping us to call multiple REST APIs simultaneously and combine the results efficiently.